Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to another episode of Burning Crowns. Episode 28, I believe, I presume? 28, yes. Welcome. We are playing a Burning Wheel role-playing game about kingdom intrigue and politicking and war and civilizing untamed lands. Finally. Really, though, if you've been with us for the past 15, 20 episodes, we've been actually just inside a capital dealing with a lot of stuff. So... Hey, welcome. I'm Eric, your Gamemaster, as well as host for the show. And with me are two of our three players, AP Gaming and Daniel/Niran. So, hey guys, how's it going?
It's going quite fine, Eric. Thank you very much. Everything is just hunky-dory.
Nice. Yeah, it's quite hot over here, so I'm pretty jealous. I don't know how hot it is over in Europe.
Recently, it was pretty damn hot. Like, go a week back, and there was like record heat in Paris. It was quite suffocating to just be anywhere near.
Like near 40°C kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
It was. Yep, and me personally don't really do that well with heat. Like in general, I prefer to freeze rather than be overly warm. I feel like I can stay awake in cold, but not for heat. Like I just feel shitty all over. So pretty happy that the temperature has fucking chilled out for a moment.
Definitely. Yeah, cool. AP, what's new with you?
Well, it's warm.
Yeah. Hey, I saw you happen to have a really fancy Patreon game going on for your Winter's
Yeah,
Edge.
I saw you popped in during that. Yeah. So people who contribute on the Patreon can earn spots to join us for a game set in the Winter's Edge universe. This time, the players literally were like, I don't know what to have them do. So we just had them do random encounter exploration to clear hexes. It turned into a disaster. There were fire tornadoes and fortune tellers and a giant metal bull that breathed poison.
Oh, yeah. What were they called?
They're called Gorgons.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. It was pretty sick. I know. Like, I was surprised at how interesting the session ended up being.
Yeah.
Like fucking wilderness exploration in any D20 game I've played, like it's not done that often, but when it is done, sometimes it just pulls a fast one on you. I was playing a Pathfinder game. Someone rolled up a dust storm, like a dust storm was going to happen. Look at the book. It's challenge rating 6 or something. Like dust storm, challenge rating 6. It's fine, right? It doesn't sound that bad. Fucking thing can suffocate anyone caught in it for long enough. Like that's a like high level party killer if they're not prepared for it.
So that's awesome.
The whole area sick. Around the kingdom is all rivered plains, and we're using the Pathfinder kingdom building rules, Kingmaker rules.
Yeah.
And they randomly, like, over the course of the game, the players and the Discord people have had 3 flash floods. It's just like the most common occurrence. And so I've just been like, okay, yeah, these happen all the time in history. Like, flash floods are a thing that just happen constantly.
Yeah. That's why people invented, look at the Netherlands.
It's true.
Why people invented the Netherlands?
That's why they did it.
No, dikes and all that stuff to control water flow. So this
I noticed we have a lot of flooding going on here. What if in the future a kind of global heating event was to occur whereby more water would spill forth? We would need one country to stand as an example of who would drown first. I shall call it the Netherlands.
I would call it Louisiana, but that's just me.
Well, turns out anything with a delta in it is in for a rude awakening.
I mean, when you can't bury bodies 6 feet down, you're in the wrong fucking country.
Yeah. At least it's not Phoenix. I saw the temperatures in Phoenix lately. Phoenix in America.
Anywhere in the world. At least we're not Phoenix.
Genuinely, they reached the highest color possible on the spectrum range for their listing of temperatures. So it's in Fahrenheit. Their maximum temperature they had on the scale is 126 degrees Fahrenheit, and it reached 122.
Wow.
So things were melting. Yeah, I could never imagine being in that style of heat.
But don't worry though. Global warming's still just a myth. It's not
It is.
confirmed. The jury is still out, as W would say.
Yeah, it just seems really, really weird that each month is the hottest month on record.
Yeah, exactly right.
month,
It's so
though.
weird. But don't
Every
worry, like
single year for the past 5 years has been the hottest month on record on average temperature. That just seems really weird, though.
So
one day, the politicians will perhaps agree to consent to maybe thinking this could be real, but that will be the day where they're all drafted into the Kansas Coast Guard.
After we had to bind together against the pirate lords who sail the ocean seas now. You laugh, AP. What's going to happen? You're going to see a bunch of pirates.
I want to be clear that I'm not part of the political extremism that's going on right now. I will say, however, that the wonderful novel Snow Crash demonstrates what happens when you make a floating city out of an aircraft carrier.
Snow Crash is so good.
Snow Crash is the greatest cyberpunk novel ever written, and I've told Adam Coble that, and we had a rap battle over it. He continues to insist it's Neuromancer. Neuromancer is boring. Neuromancer is the story of a really dumb guy who's like, I don't know, I guess I'm just going to follow this plot and not do anything and watches people who are way more interesting than me do stuff. The main character never does anything. Eric, I could see you wavering over
I've never read Snow Crash, but I have read Neuromancer.
I mean, okay, in Neuromancer, the guy's like, boo-hoo, my life is terrible. And then he meets a bunch of really cool people who do cool stuff. But if you look in the whole novel, he never does anything.
Well,
he's just present for events.
Yes and no. His skill
Read
set,
Snow Crash, Eric.
He's
Read
a
Snow Crash.
He doesn't do anything because he's the hacker of the group.
Read
Just like every
Snow
hacker
Crash.
of a group, they don't do anything until it's like the one thing, right?
Wow,
nuclear-powered
rude.
robot dogs and skateboarding are two things that should absolutely be in a cyberpunk novel.
I love you, Bon Bon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump on board here. So we're playing Burning Wheel. So we have our beliefs set up, and I still haven't done a exclamation point for beliefs, right? Oh, I did. Haha, look at that. So if you ever want to see what our beliefs are for our characters going forward, you can just hit exclamation point beliefs in chat. We have a beliefs document that's viewable for you guys to see. And just like any other game in Burning Wheel, we're still going to read over them at the start of the game, but that's there for reference going forward. So cool. So yeah, Sam can't join us today. He is currently moving across the country. So shout outs to him and best of luck on his move. But he'll be back next week. So with that all being done and out of the way, let's go over and look at our beliefs and stuff and do some burning wheels. Who would like to go?
I mean, I shall go first then. So I have 3 new beliefs. My first belief is for a worthy ruler to sit on the dragon scale throne, I must discover the secret of the vanishing. I will uncover the identity of the conspirator whose involvement had been torn from the pages of Coral's Confidants Chronicles. Yes, amazing alliteration as always, eh?
That is a choice alliteration.
Thank you. But yeah, that's a thing I want to do. The problem is, of course, that this thing is likely in Skywatch, based on what I've learned, but hey, you never know.
Yep.
So, that's the thing. Second belief, there is yet enough fire in the hearts of men to steer a course over dark seas. Answers wait in the Valley of Fire. I will uncover them. And my third belief, as the last member of the Nethesian I stand responsible where they no longer can. Suffering can fuel places of power. I will learn how such power can be used.
Yes, a lot of discovering magic and secrets today from you.
Yes, hopefully. Now, the idea here is, of course, though it doesn't explicitly say in the belief, the idea is to use this to draw me south. Because there was a place of power down there where a bunch of hunters had been murdered by a skin changer, and now that makes sense to Mason. That place needs an investigation.
For sure. Okay.
All right. 3 new instincts. Never give out knowledge without purpose. Right? Knowledge isn't free. It turns out that you can sell that shit to priests for favor, and indeed, like, not everyone deserves to have it. So it shall no longer be assumed that I will share what I know without cause. Another instinct: always treat knowledge and relics with the utmost care. It's about like how I treat my material possessions. I don't want to have something frail in my inventory and risk it breaking on like for lack of attention on my part as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And my third instinct: if there is understanding to be gained, do research. Whenever there is a piece of writing that needs reading, I'm there. Whenever there is a symbol that needs deciphering, I'm there. Whenever a course or event needs to be dived into, I'm there.
There's definitely that's here in this. I just imagine there's a song in there that you're talking about, right?
Probably.
But whenever there's research, I'll be there. You know, something. Anyways, cool. Nah, don't do that to me, AP. Don't do that to me.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Well, tell us what Marquis Ronaldswan's.
Well, let me hit you with this, Eric. An actual good song. You ask me to say things, and I'll be there for you.
Okay.
Be there for you too. I'll be there for you. All right, here we go.
When the rain starts to fall?
No, I mean, listen, we can't just keep changing the song based on the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
I was doing the Friends theme song.
Yeah.
I get you. That is.
Oh, is that the rest of the
Swan's
lyrics? I literally only know the very first part where the Friends logo comes up.
All
right. Expansion and acquisition is the heart of civilization. Once the building of the capital Karasuno has begun, I will invite important business, political, and noble leaders for pleasure retreats. This is the first step to the acquisition and merger of Mivanese lands into my own. It is time to begin the machine of industry that will guide our new country. I will create a business that will fund the area, consisting of a logistics company to move goods and their guardians. This colonization effort will not fail for lack of funding or supply. Surviving is not living, and creating a city is not a country. Something must unify my people, a rally cry to march towards, and a culture of excellence to maintain after my death. Magic is more than just a single sorcerer, and knowledge is more than a single advisor. I will gather the ostracized, the young gifted, and those who study the history of magic to form a national research team for my interests. And I am responsible to the people.
I can't help but think of your third belief being like that's like the group you're assembling that apocalyptic research team.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm assembling my Avengers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to get around Mason Nido, so I need Professor X.
I will siphon off every one of those people I can and kill the rest.
I mean, you can try. That certainly sounds like a horribly punishable crime.
The Brotherhood of Evil Sorcerers.
Yeah. Cool.
Murdering a bunch of children does sound like a great way to become a villain.
You know it, babe.
Several works of fiction involve that.
They say that you killed younglings.
The younglings! Yeah.
Oh, woe is me.
I like that the kids are called younglings because it makes them sound like they're insects.
It's so pathetic. It's literally just to avoid having the phrase "killed children" in there. It's such bullshit. It's the most pathetic thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3 are way deeper than I used to think that they were. When I came to the realization that the Jedi actually did try to overthrow a democratically elected leader, I was like, wow, this rabbit hole goes so deep. The Jedi are actually the evil ones.
You would know that if you played the Sith Lords.
Not that Anakin Skywalker is a good person, but of course he's a Jedi, so...
Anyone who is interested in the implications of Star Wars beyond the beautiful quintessential hero's journey of the original trilogy owe it to themselves to play the Sith Lords, because that game is full of, like, what does any of this mean for the Star Wars universe kind of speculation, which is awesome.
Oh god, hold on, I just broke my camera.
Since you're actually playing a Sith Lord.
I mean, I hope so.
Should we cut to you Sith Lording your way into the chambers of, what's her name? You know, what's her name?
Oh, yeah, what's her name? Your love interest.
The Queen?
You know what? I want to actually contest that. I felt that we had a very flirty conversation and that seduction would have been a capable fork. But Eric said no. And if that's true, then she's not my love interest. Like,
That's true.
it wasn't quite as flirty as I thought it was, and she's not interested.
Well, so remember
No.
that there is a vast gulf of difference between what is actually true and what the community will cleave to with persistence.
I know. So she's not my love interest.
If someone
no,
ships
that
it,
you
it will
can't-
sail.
Just because I can't.
The
All right.
conversation had some chemistry there, Eric. That's all I'm
Sure,
gonna say.
but I don't think forking seduction was the right move to make in that.
It's all
moment.
right, Eric. It's all right. I'll
Just-
cry myself to sleep in Swan's Gardens. And
Have you never heard of giving the people what they want, Eric?
Yeah,
Come on.
No, I never heard of that before. So
we hold these truths
sorry.
to be self-evident that all ships are created equal.
My God.
What's her name again?
I
Iravetti.
don't know.
There we go.
Okay, that's the one.
I think that's where we left off. You were literally on Iravetti's doorstep, about to deliver 8 words.
That's true.
Yes, I think that sounds correct. Why is my camera being so stupid right now? AP. Fix
Yeah.
my camera. No,
I mean, your camera's working perfectly right here.
okay.
I see
Well,
it.
That's good. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna go meet Lady Iravetti, right? I think that's gonna be the first one, first scene we see. Mason, you're gonna go talk to Lady Iravetti, right?
Sure. Yep. So I guess this is the first time in quite a while we've been at the army camp, but this
I think this is
I
the
imagine
first
this.
time we've ever been to the army camp.
Well, so I was there initially to go and talk to Avon.
Off screen, Mason has spent several trips in the army camps.
Yeah, I'm there
Remember-
every night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically this is a cut to like whatever tent I usually just sit like and have a conversation with Avon and the captains and with Iravetti in, which I imagine to have like, you know, like there is a wooden floor in there. There's some a couple of pillows have been placed, but it's like a chill tent. It's not like fucking war tent.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess we cut in on Mason and Iravetti having a conversation in there. And Mason is presently broaching the subject of what is supposed to happen with her little conflict that she talked to Swan about.
Can you remind us what that is? Or what that was?
Yeah, it was the fact that Brevoy intends to settle the Southlands, right? Like the entire Stolen Lands Greenbelt thing.
Yep.
And the problem is that some of the land that they consider wild and untamed and up for grabs is the Glenabun Highlands, which Pitax considers to be part of their sovereign territory. So
Yes.
Iravetti had a little problem with that, and she wanted Swan to go deal with it. And now Swan has asked Mason to deal with it.
Yes.
So
Okay. So are you trying? Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
So trick is, and I don't know that a test is necessary here because Mason's solution to this, I feel like, plays exactly to what Iravetti wants to hear. But I will tell you what Mason says to her, and you tell me if there's a test here.
So, yeah, no, I think maybe we should just role play out and describe what this looks like, and then we'll see if there's a test in it or not, right?
All right. Yeah.
So, you see, Lady Iravetti is pretty. She's been getting increasingly frustrated, not with Swan and everything, but just internal politics back at home. Just in a matter of some of the people she left in charge of her kingdom aren't as good as her, and it's frustrating her. And you know how?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a boss that just is really bad at delegating tasks?
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Eric. Let me tell you how that happens,
Um,
Eric. People assume that because you are competent at a task, they believe that you are also good at leading people in that task, and that's an issue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's
I-
lady. That's our Lady Iravetti's problem is that she can just do everyone's job better than they can, and so when they don't perform at the same level she does, she gets upset and being like she wants to assume direct control and take over the problems, right?
Sure.
So,
So when
she's
she
being
asks
very
that-
frustrated. Like, she should not be like her advisors. So, like, I think what we see when you come in, like, you're being like, no, look, you have to trust her. Like, you have to let her do this thing. Like, yeah, but she's doing it not the way I want it to. Like, for this, like, look, it's going to cost us this much more. And they're talking about some kind of like trade deal or something like that between the guilds. And
she's talking like with one of her major domo that
yeah,
went
exactly.
with her. All right,
exactly,
cool.
and talking about the Pitaxian guilds and like what their rates are between different supplies and stuff internally, and being like, we're getting screwed out by this amount of money because we're doing it this way. It's just very nitty gritty economic stuff, and that's when you come in.
Sure. I don't mean to eavesdrop, but it sounds like there's trouble brewing. I say as I walk in and take a seat and pour myself a goblet of wine.
Yeah, she's nothing I can't take care of. How are you doing, Mason?
Busy. But, time flies, things change. The army is looking good, and so are your people.
Yes.
Everything is working out decently, especially considering the recent cataclysm at the castle.
Yeah, I was about ready to talk to you about that. Rumor has it that you blew up part of the castle? She says, jokingly, as she pours herself some wine.
Yeah, I love that that's a rumor. I guess I had a hand in it, so it's not entirely unfounded.
Well, after your other incident at the fourth wall, you seem to be developing quite the reputation.
I downed, I was sipping the goblet when I remember, Swan killing the raven and breaking guest right and all that shit. I just fucking down that shit and I pour a new goblet.
So referring to your string of arson and destruction of property. I think she's giving the impression that she knows that it's more, there's more to this, but she's just playing up what other people say, right?
Let them say what they want.
So there's definitely a double talk. Like, she knows you're above this as well. She's just making small talk with you with this, and she says, so to Mason. So what do I owe the pleasure?
Oh well, don't have to be so formal about it. I like spending time here with you. But that being said, you are of course completely correct. I am here also in an official capacity tonight. I have been given the authority to deal on behalf of Swan with your issue regarding the settlements of your lands. So I am here to tell you exactly how this is going to play.
Yeah. She grips the goblet very, very fiercely when she hears that news. It kind of cracks. No, what it does. It does crack. And she goes, oh dear me. And she puts it down and gets another one. Glassware, I'm afraid of the glassware that I brought with you never stood up for the long journey. She's trying to hide this fact that
Sure,
but
I'm not angry. It's just this piece of shit glassware.
She thinks that Ronald's not taking care about this. That by delegating this task to you is not important to him, and so she's taking this as a slight, right?
Oh,
so like that's the connotation of that. As she comes here and says, so what were the developments then? I guess was he too busy to bring this up with the king?
Why no?
I mean, calamity and all aside.
What's her first name? I believe I'm on a first name basis with this person after a month of talking with her like this. What's her first name?
Her name's Cash. What is it? I wrote it down. Castrucci. What is it? Castrucci. Crastuccia. That's what I had down.
All right. Now, Crastuccia.
Yeah.
You know that people don't delegate work to me because they can't deal with it, because they don't want it dealt with. No, he has had time to converse with this in as much of a setting as required, and he has chosen to delegate the decision to me. It just so happens that I'm very sympathetic to your plight. I don't think it's fair at all that the Brevoy should presume to settle your lands. And let's be honest here, between you and I. You and I both know the Glenabon Uplands is a piece of shit. It's a wind-blasted, ash-blasted, nothing fucking grows there, hillocky, rocky-ass land that is essentially worthless as anything but a defensive buffer and maybe minor mining operations for you. But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate the slight Brevoy offers you when they say they're going to settle it and disregard your sovereign authority there. So here's how we're going to do this. When the settlers arrive south, have your people arrest them, and then exile them further south. If they fail to surrender, kill them. That should satisfy your needs.
But what if I have use for them?
You're talking slavery. That would play less well politically. Sending them further south is just an act of dealing with the rudeness of them presuming to settle your territory without your permission. Killing them is, of course, an act of defending your country. Enslaving them, less so. Even if they come as independent settlers, that will still be enslaving Brevish citizens and would cause a stir in the capital. If you want this to play as softly as possible, at least politically, kill them or send them further south.
Well, sending them further south, as we know, Brevoy has a very particular, complicated relationship with the River Kingdoms.
Yes.
I believe sending them south could very well spell death for many of them.
Such a shame. But polyculturality is a thing many people must learn to accept in their lives.
I'm not sure I agree with you. But I do appreciate your advice.
Well, no one said we had to agree on everything.
Yeah. So,
Cheers.
yeah. No, I don't think there's a role here. I think that's not bad advice.
Yep.
So.
And I'm kind of like trying to play into like one. Mason thinks this is the best idea, basically, to resolve this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, I think this is what she wants to hear, right? She wants to know that she has the authority to deal with this shit because it's her land. So I'm basically telling her this, not only because I think it's the right thing, but also because like I want this lady to be my friend. I consider her valuable and interesting and powerful.
Good. Mm-hmm. We've been sitting out here for quite some time. Do you think Count Swan would have any issues if I return back to Patex?
I think so. I believe he's planning the move south very soon. We're only waiting for the Dragon Guard to arrive and finishing the last stages of preparation before we travel south. At that point, we should appreciate the presence of the Untouchables. 500 cuirassiers in the wildland such as that could be incredibly useful. Do you have problems Do you have problems back home? Perhaps we could cooperate to attend to them. If not, if you have to deal with them yourself, I'm sure he, as a future ruler of men, would appreciate you taking a moment to deal with it.
Yeah. So she nods and says, I will bring it up with him in a little bit. I have full confidence that my not seneschal. What would you call your right hand man? Major domo. Yeah. A major domo role here can take care of any formalities as I attend to some domestic matters.
Perhaps. I will leave that between you and Swan. He knows the details of your agreement better than I. Now, when that is said and done, if you have problems with the guild, have you considered pit-taxing them?
Out. She says as she laughs and drinks her wine. Says,
cool.
I have, all right, now back to these matters at hand. As she goes and talks with her Major Domo Rolf. Okay, cool.
All right,
cool. I don't think there was a test there for anything.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, unless you think there is.
So
no,
I want to be clear on what just happened to my army. Apparently, the leader of one of my military units is leaving their second in command while they go home.
Yeah, temporarily. To deal with something.
That's what they're going to discuss.
They're going to bring that up with you. But if you want, we can either see that scene right now, or if you want to do something real quick, we can do that as well.
I mean, by real quick, I was hoping we could do money time and just get that out of the way. Just ruin my entire day.
All right, let's do money time.
Front end. All right. So I want to start by confirming with you all of the things I'm about to buy.
Yeah, so we spoke a little bit in Discord about the gigantic list.
I know.
Just recite it for everybody.
All right. 100-ish barges to bring supplies in and then ferry people between key points around the country. 10 large cargo ships for supplies and trading. 10 warships to be laid in. By the way, chat, I will be taking names for the 10 warships if you would like to name them. The first one will be called the PS I Love You, but I am still accepting other names.
Yeah. Besides, just real quick, the warships are the small. We spoke about them at one time a while ago. What were they called? Not caravels, right?
Carax.
Carax. Yeah, they're carax. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Just make sure that's what we mean by a warship.
I mean, carax are still pretty big.
Yeah.
Yes. 10 castles, which is actually going to be much fewer than 10 castles. One of the castles is being set to rebuild the Ruby Palace. A second is finally fulfilling my promise to create a castle at the Fort of the Freemen for the Goramites. A third is to turn Oleg's trading post into a castle. And a fourth is to create a castle at a ferry location, which I've indicated on the world map. And all the other castles are being used to reinforce the new capital of Karasuno. So that's literally 6 free castles. So I would love for it to just be an incredibly heavily defended town. Next up is 10 palaces, which is actually only 3 or 4 palaces. One is a Forbidden City-style bureaucracy government palace. Another is a personal palace for Swan. A third is a personal palace for Aurelius. And a fourth is a Crystal Palace style exhibition hall where artists can create artwork and architecture, and people can show up and be like, cool, I know that craftsman Bob created this piece of art.
This is your Versailles.
Exactly. I mean, and this is a thing that, should it be created, I will expand in detail down the line because it's pretty important to creating culture. And finally, a superior great shield, a superior longsword, and superior full plate for Swan's personal armament.
I don't think it's unreasonable for you to not I don't think you should have to roll for the superior armaments for you. I feel like that's something you can just get.
Sure. I mean, I would very much like to not die in the near future.
Yeah.
All right.
The only thing I need to know is how you get them. So what I'm saying is that you can pay for them. So like, who do you go to for them though? Do you hire? Do you get them from out of the country? Do you hire someone here to do it? What do you do to get your fine supplies?
I feel like I'd probably acquire them from someone's estate, right? Like some noble died and their son is like selling off their junk. And I'm like, oh, you've got this superior full plate. I could get that retooled to my size.
That's not junk. I'm not sure I agree with you.
Well,
on that.
you know,
that would require a roll, but that would require more of a rule of law roll, or like something about.
Well, I don't know about that.
Your ability to pay for it isn't the problem. Your ability to make it so that people aren't pissed off that you took a family heirloom would be the problem.
I'm not buying the family heirloom because I'm not saying that there's like an estate sale and I'm buying all this dead guy stuff without their permission. I'm saying they're like inventorying a castle and they're like, I guess we don't need this anymore. Let's sell it.
What was the armaments you wanted to buy again?
Superior longsword, superior great shield, superior full plate, or whatever the best one is.
A run-of-the-mill full plate is op 6, so it's probably op 7 or 8 to get a superior quality. That's maybe worth making a roll for, and not just hand-waving.
I mean, I'm about to make an op 16 roll.
Yeah. So
I feel like it could all kind of be wrapped in together.
All right, then just wrap it all together then.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
All right.
So yeah, we talked about it. It's about an ob 16 for everything you want.
Should be aware. I mean, people who've been watching the show for a while know that I absolutely want gray shaded persuasion as quickly as possible. However, creating an entirely new country and having a fantastic starting area is also probably the most important thing Swan will ever do. So I'm going to use a deeds point on this.
All right.
But first to start out, I need to gather up some cash dice.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try for 2 cash dice. This is knob 4.
4.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna use my fund, my affinity for business to get 12 dice.
Against a knob 4.
Yep.
That's not even a
I don't
routine
fail
test,
this.
right?
I mean, there's nothing less than a routine.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, so now it's time for some heavy mathing. Prepare for this. In order to make this a challenging test, I can only throw 13 dice at it, which means 1 of the cash die, plus my fun dice, my affinity for business, and my regular resources. Throwing 2 persona and a deeds point. The deeds will give me matching my resources exponent, so 6. Persona brings it up 8, which means I'll have 21 dice at an ob 16.
Yeah. But you also have Pennywise for rerolling failures.
I know, but I would love it to not use that if I don't have to. And if I do have to, I'll be glad to have it. So let's see here. So it's 7 regular modified, and then 8 Artha.
I think
16.
the consequence to failure here is
Oh boy, tell me, Eric.
we're gonna have to talk about the details of it, but we're gonna spend a lot of time you just like having to waste so much time arguing in the nitty-gritty minutia of project management for the next 6 months of just
Oh boy, that sounds terrible. That sounds like the exact opposite of what I want to do.
Yeah.
In fact, Eric, that sounds chillingly like real life.
Yeah.
That's a failure. Shit. All right, so I'm gonna have to use my call on.
You
I
only
had
got 2 6s as well, and which is really bad.
I get to reroll 10 dice, and I'm gonna open fate it. So I guess I get to reroll 13d6 open-ended.
Reroll the 10 dice first, because that could generate more 6s for you to then fade.
Right, but if I open-end it just in the roll, it'll already do that, right?
I don't think it does.
17. I mean, literally, if I roll 13d6 exclamation point, it will.
Yeah.
Oh, then yes, then it combines both of them, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, it won't. Well, it won't combine your 2 additional.
All right, we'll roll 10d6 for the failure rerolls.
Yeah.
See if I even need to fail.
I think that's the easier way of thinking about
And
it.
I need 5 successes, and I get 7.
Nailed it.
I'm going to
Okay.
spend a fate to reroll anyway, but it doesn't matter because I absolutely crush this horribly and get a challenging test out of it.
Yeah.
So I would describe what this looks like. The scene is literally just blackness, and then it's Swan sitting at a desk with just a light on from above him, and then a bass line comes in, and then some drums kick in, and it's Eye of the Tiger as people are just handing him paperwork, and he's ambidexterously just signing it. And in the upper right-hand corner, a clock appears, and then it's just like flipping over and over and over and over again. As Swan is for days micromanaging every last piece of paperwork necessary to create all these purchases, lay in new halls, do castles.
Nice.
As a follow-up for this, Eric, I've secured the funding for the Ruby Palace, but I want to make sure something special happens with it. So I would like to circle somebody up.
Okay. Who are you looking for? Are you
I'm looking for a master mason.
I'm right here, boo. I'm right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say are you talking about like a Leonardo da Vinci type?
No, much worse. I'm looking for the most corrupt mason in the entire city. He doesn't even have to be like a castle builder. I'm just looking for someone who is terrible at their job and is constantly accepting bribes.
Why? Can I ask,
All right,
what is your intention?
I'll tell you why. My intention here is to get the person assigned to this project to be so bad at their job that the Ruby Palace is never finished.
I mean, I don't think that requires a circles roll.
Okay, then. Excellent.
I feel like, okay, well, here's 2 ways of doing this. You can either circle somebody up to do that for you, or you can just kind of do that with administration, where you're actually like intentionally trying to administrate this so that it goes like over budget.
I'm not going to be able to personally do that myself. I would rather.
You don't want those tests to fail, and
Circles is probably a good call.
I want to absolutely make sure that I have someone in place. Like the palace needs to look good on the outside, right? Like walls need to be rebuilt, but when people are like, where's the crucial services? You know, like the gates don't work here. We can't have a palace with gates that don't work. It's not defensible. Or why is there a hole in the wall where people keep smuggling things in through?
Why do you keep failing to procure the right stone? Right? Like,
Exactly.
where's the labor force?
So is it? So it's not the architect; it's the mason.
Right. Whoever's running the project, I need them to be bad at their job.
Well, that would be the architect, right?
Sure. Well, then what I want is a horribly corrupt architect who will do what I want and not what the king wants, because I'm the one paying.
Sure. So that's a broad occupation. You want somebody of the same. Yeah, but like that's within your scope of being
I have
a
city,
merchant.
noble, court, and noble.
Yeah. So like high prestigious architect would be within your sphere.
It's still probably
they are
+3.
I would say though that occupation's the same, but their station is technically lower than you because they're not a noble.
Of course they are. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
They need you want a very specific disposition, so that's going to add a 3 to it. So you're looking at an ob 4, but then you also want them. Doesn't matter for this role because it's going to happen over months of time. So it's looking like an ob 4 circles test. Does that sound about right to you, Daniel?
I think so. The one thing I'm thinking about is the occupation. No, you don't always apply all modifiers to any kind of role, but the kind of occupation this guy has is central to the circles test. So what did you add
architect?
what did you add for op on that?
So I was going 0 ob for occupation, but I was adding 1 for station and then 3 for disposition.
I would either go with uncommon occupation or specific occupation. Not specific, actually. A specific would be for like crazy weird shit. But
like the only dragon glass architect, or something like that. But no. This is
an academic, like an architect, would probably be uncommon. Like people build buildings all the time, but people don't build castles.
That's fine. It's op 5. It's op 5. I'm just going to add a +1 to the roll for this.
My church affiliation for this, because we've already established the church is where a lot of these kind of people come from.
Sure, and whether or not they're in the church, though, they can recommend you somebody, is the idea, right?
Okay, yep.
I mean, so that's for you to call, Eric. I would call BS on that affiliation. Because church affiliation is not for craftsmen, it's not for architects, even if they go to church.
Well, the Abadarian Council is made up of people who are also heads of their industries, respectively. Furthermore, a consequence to failure of this is clearly this guy's also a spy sent by the church to keep watch of things. So I'm letting that happen.
Feel free.
All right. So with my reputation as a Brevoyan noble,
maybe not a spy, just he would be writing reports. And you probably know that.
And you said this is ob 5?
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be super difficult. What?
Green.
There it is. Do you want to spend fate on that one so you can make him more than a temporary purchase?
I love that the guy's probably too incompetent to actually spy for the church, so that works out.
I'll spend the fate. Nope.
Too bad. All right, so he's like kind of a one-shotter.
What's a 7 versus 8? I'm sorry, I have 8 versus 5.
I couldn't tell you, my dudes.
It's routine still. Okay, well. I need plenty of routine circles. Anyway, I would like to name this person. I would actually prefer it to... What's a really corrupt name?
Snidely Whiplash.
His name is John Priebus.
Nice.
Master Mason John Priebus.
Your unctuousness.
I don't even know if we need to do the conversation for this. It's literally just me glad handing him and just being like, make sure it's as slow as possible. I want, like, whatever happens, keep taking bribes, use the worst materials possible, make it look good, keep the king informed, and then make it slow. 2 decades is the earliest I want this done, son. Okay? Excellent. And then, like, I just hand him a giant fucking bag of gems.
Yep. Okay.
All right, perfect. Excellent. All right, I got all the stuff that I needed done for that first part.
So, so I think we're gonna have the scene though between Swan and Lady Aravetti.
Oh boy, excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a point of being present there in the capacity as advisor.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. That sounds really good. So let me just make a quick note here. Swan got the money.
Got the money.
Swan got the corrupted architect. Just making notes here on screen about roles that we've done so far today. I'm going to add the stuff that we've done before on the other side. Down here. And then we'll keep what goes on in this session to the right of your character. That makes the most sense here. Okay, so, yeah, Lady Orvetti, boy, she doesn't put this on your schedule or anything like that. She just shows up. So,
Probably
yes.
Swan is putting down a pen as he signed the last formal document. And because he used Pennywise, it's literally like to the copper piece.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
to the last denarii. He like wipes his brow and it's like, well, that was great. I'm certain that nothing else will come up and all of my time so far has been spent well. Now I can go rest for a few days. Thank Abaddon for his assistance. And
knock,
oh my
knock.
God, EricVulgaris, welcome, welcome. You've caught me at a terrible time.
Seems that the feeling is mutual somewhat.
I
Listen,
pour Swan a cold drink and push it
Yeah,
across
I
the
was
table.
gonna be like, thank you, orange juice, fantastic. I'm in dire need. My blood sugar's low, if we know about blood sugar in these days.
I need... she has a hard time saying it. So she just says, affairs at home require my immediate attention. Count Swan, would you mind if I travel back home for a few weeks? I think she even says something to the effect of she sees how hard you worked on all the paperwork and says oh my God, know what she says? I made the grave mistake of having my own form of Sulius trying to do what you're trying to do, and I need to go home and correct everything.
Of course.
What she says.
I've seen him try to fill out his tax information. It's terrible.
Yes.
Well,
the stuff of nightmares.
If you forbid it, she's going to push for it. Right?
I feel like a discussion can be had before we get to that point.
Totally. I'm cool with that too. I'm just letting you know that right now. Okay.
Lady
She's going to fight for it.
There is an issue here. You wished to join us specifically to hunt down this fake creature, Deanna, Narissa, Narana. What's her name?
Narissa.
No, I'm literally asking that in character.
Oh, yeah.
Narissa, Swan.
Swan doesn't care. He's just going to murder it.
Sure.
I mean, I know what it is. Your expertise. You told me yourself that you would not train my men in anti-magical tactics because you would be present to do it yourself. If you have a competent military commander to leave behind for your troops, I have no issue. But before you go, I feel it would be wise for you to leave some sort of journal or primer or some sort of dummy's guide for how to defeat magic.
I lean into Swan as he mentioned this, like to give advice as I do, right? And I say to you, the chain of command has been well established and keenly forged. There will be no problems in the absence of Irobeti.
I would like to hear that from her.
Yeah, I inform you that in capacity as your general. Right?
It's like not.
I'm just putting it on you. I got this shit. But
the chain
you
of command is
want.
not entirely my concern here, Mason. Also, competent officers. Lady Iravetti's credentials are without question, but who would she leave behind? Is this person, if not her equal, then at least minimally...
While I have made the mistake of appointing a imbecile to run my affairs at home, I would never make the same mistake for my military and working with you. I leave my efforts and... what's the word that you would use?
Executive officer.
Yeah. I leave my affairs to my executive officer, Major Domo Rolf, who I have the utmost confidence in.
Rolf, is it?
Yeah, ROLTH. And I mean, while we never actually had like screen time with them, they are you've met them before, and
Yeah,
they
of
are
course.
astute and wise and very good. In fact, they have the keen eye for business like you do. They run their military like a business.
The man is competent and respected by his troops.
Indeed.
Very well. Then the only issue that remains on the table is the question of anti-magical warfare. If you could perhaps write a primer or leave some journal entries to how the common men might prepare for a horrible fanged beast to fight.
The common man does not.
Yes, I've heard that before, Mason. And yet we have an uncommon woman who has done so. And I mean Iravetti and not Mason when I'm gesturing.
What I suggest is wait for Iravetti to arrive. There will be plenty of time spent cultivating the wilderness, getting control of the land down there. Just wait. Yeah. There's no need to venture into the Null Marshes before she returns.
If there is one thing you should know about me, Mason, it's that not only am I impatient, but I need things done yesterday. This is very important to me.
I would say there are other things I should know about you before that, but fine. Nonetheless, my advice stands.
She says any relevant information in my absence can be gleaned from my major domo.
Besides,
I'm afraid that my affairs at home keep me from being able to write the book that you so require.
Well, as long as Rolf is able to begin training men in your absence, then I see no reason to keep you from home.
Thank you. And she bows and quickly makes her...
Before you go, I assume...
She turns her heels and looks at you.
I assume Mason informed you of the king's decision.
Yes. She nods.
Given that we are still discussing you remaining in my employ, I assume that you are okay with what is happening?
Mason smiles, like, you know, that little crooked, like, close-up of Mason's face doing the maybe, like, morally ambiguous smile.
Yeah, and says, yeah, you're... She wouldn't use Mason's name. She would say, the person you left in charge of this that project, right? Like, you're... What would be that word, right? You're,
General?
It's just it's so fucking hot in this room right now that I cannot think of words, guys. I'm really sorry. Yeah, you're general. You're vizier. Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like,
no, there's like, no way I want Mason to be known as my vizier.
That's a shame, dude. Here it is.
Aurelius is my vizier.
Whatever.
You're expert. Yeah. You're Smee is really what it is. But
that extremely gifted, beautiful, interesting, always wonderful person you got.
None of those things.
We've had a very after meeting with your advisors on the issue at hand, I'm very comfortable with the results of our discussions. That's what she says very vaguely.
Swan looks surprised since he assumed that someone was going to die in that meeting.
Yeah, probably that should be a kind of a shocker. But then she says, if there's nothing else, she proceeds to leave. And then we should probably go to our break, and then we probably leave and close out in the scene of Swan giving the stink eye to Mason, being like, what the heck?
I feel like what we're really going to have is a scene of Eric with a pitcher of cold water, just pouring it over his face.
I'm getting ready to go duck my head in some water.
Check in to see.
All right, guys, we'll be back. I'll see you on the other side of the break.